All right, welcome back to the Built on Air podcast. We've been off for a month. We're ready to begin a new season. We're in season 25, episode 1. Welcome back, everyone. Ali, Camille, good to see you again.
Hello.
Glad to be back.
Any fun updates in the month we've been off?
What did I do?
I know.
I went on vacation. That was nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, nothing really on my end. Just survived the heat wave. It was brutal up here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dealing with fires. We had some pretty bad fires out here. Actually, 4th of July, like the whole city said no fireworks, but then some idiots go up on the mountain to light off fireworks and start a fire like literally hundreds of yards away from my house. And luckily they were able to put it out before it got to any homes, but stupid. Yeah. So, but anyways, it was a good month. I think since the last time my daughter got married, so we had a wedding and had some vacation time as well. So yeah, it's been good. But ready to kick back off into the Airtable world. So today we're going to go through latest news and updates and things going on. And then we're going to do some deep dives into some new features that Airtable has released since we've been off, and kind of do some unboxing and play with them and check them out. So going to have some fun today. Okay, let's do it. So first of all, kind of talking about the Airtable community. So right around the time we last saw each other, they kind of changed things up. They're now doing builder crews. You can tell, like reading like this article and just the idea, somebody did around with ChatGPT and was like, what should we name our groups? And so they moved away from user groups to builder crews.
Sure.
Yeah. So now they have builder crews. So what I didn't realize, let me click on, is this where they are? That's not it. That's a form to get involved. Here we go. Crews directory. Okay. So they have virtual ones. So I know like Jen Rudd, she's been running the Airtable AI. I think Ben Green's been running the marketing. Mm-hmm. And then I believe a new one that Jen's running, she mentioned she's doing, let's do virtual.
Can't help but notice this isn't in alphabetical order or order by number of group members. So
maybe by created date. Yeah, because I think these were the first two created ones.
I think so too.
So PMO, this is a new one. Yeah. This one shouldn't be in virtual. This tagging doesn't work. These are in person. So, there we go. Yeah, and then they do have some in-person ones around the world. So if you, I'd be curious how these in-person ones work out. I don't see any in my neck of the woods. Maybe I need to start one.
Yeah, I'm going to join the Boston one.
You are? There is one?
There is. I just saw on the list there.
There it is. Yeah, 5 people.
Okay. I thought there was a Bay Area in San Diego, but not Los Angeles, and I was confused. There is one. It's in the middle.
Love it.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah, 24 people. There you go. More than Bay Area.
As there should be. We're the larger county.
Yeah, Milwaukee, way to represent. Cool. So yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, if you're participating in any of these, or if you're running one of these, and you want to talk about what you guys are doing, come on the show. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I got my current job through networking at one of these in-person Airtable meetups. I mean, it wasn't this specifically. It was before they came up with this sort of concept, but the idea of Airtable hosted or supported event. So I mean, you never know. There's people in this community that are doing interesting things for a lot of different use cases, nonprofits, for profits, education. Um, there's a lot, I think, and going out and sort of meeting other people who are doing similar or even completely different things as you is always interesting because you get more knowledge you might not get in your day to day. So I think these are a good idea.
Yeah. So they're starting to get people together, which is good. Let's check real quick. Events coming up in person, navigating your AI journey. Doesn't say where. This is with Value Stack in London. Okay. Any other? So they have the crew meetups. So there you go. Tonight.
I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe.
There you go. Got something to do tonight. Any other ones coming up? There's one in Spanish somewhere. Virtual. Airtable, virtual. Okay, product-led summit in September. Okay, so nothing in January. We've already got January out. So I wonder if this is it for the rest of the year as far as in person. So looks like nothing, no other like Airtable specific ones coming up. Cool. All right, here's a question from Reddit community. Is Airtable Omni going to replace tools like Softer?
It depends on what you're building with Softer. So one of the core there's a specific term for this, but like reasons why you would get the product for Softer and all the other Airtable specific or Airtable focused front end builders was that Airtable's license structure meant that if you had to edit something, it was expensive because you had to pay for a license for everybody. And that's alleviated a little bit with guest users. But if you're building only internal tools, like my job is to build internal tools for the company that employs me. So that's out the window. That is still a hindrance with Omni because it's building in Airtable. There's some workarounds you could do, but who knows how long those workarounds are going to be there. And my principal complaint with Airtable's custom interfaces right now is the same complaint I had with Retool that they have since fixed. But I'm an equal opportunity hater, so I leverage the same complaint against Airtable. You're building multi-paged apps in a single app infrastructure where if you want to build a whole website with Omni, you absolutely can, but it is one URL. And that's not great as a user experience. You lose so much with stuffing an app in that way. Does that make sense? Doable, but not a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. I liked the top comment on this. I saw this post last night, and it was like Omni is not great at best. Yeah, at best isn't great. I was like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I've seen Omni do some good stuff, but man, do you gotta hold its hand. It is not. It is not at that point.
You may as well let a 3-year-old loose with Airtable.
I'll give you a 10-year-old. It's a little bit better than 3, but man, it is not an Airtable expert quite yet, which is strange, given that it's made by the people who make Airtable.
And there is, and somebody hinted that their rep, I've heard that from others, that there's a version 2 coming. There will be a significant upgrade.
I hope so. I basically just use Claude now, and like I use Omni to get a page started, and then I just use Claude to edit the rest of it. Like, but
But there are some things that Omni can do that Claude can't do.
Yeah.
Right.
True. But I've found that like Omni has these like keywords that if you even just use it in your prompt, like if it's completely like out of context, it will like pick up on this keyword and be like, I can't do exports. I can't do exports. And I'm like, that's not what I said. I'm like, that's what? It's like I said the word export in my prompt. And so it's like, I can't do that. You have to try again. I'm like, what are you like? I don't know. It's wild. Like if you just rework it to remove that word, then it's fine.
That's funny. Now, what might be the killer to softer and whatnot is this guy, right? So Canvas is in Airtable Labs. I do have access to it. I have played with it for a minute. It's got potential. I think it's better at app building than Omni. It's a different, so it's basically it's basically like custom extensions like taken outside of interface builder, and feels more like a Lovable or Bolt or something. So this I think could compete with Softer.
So what does it like? Does it run inside Canvas or does it give you code that you run somewhere else? Like what
It runs. It basically is like it's a chat editor that allows you, and then the visual visual outlay, and so it's basically it automatically hosts the code that it generates. So it generates the code that gets rendered, but it has a direct connection to your Airtable data, so it understands. So Airtable is your source of data, so it's the underlying database.
Great.
And then it's an app builder on top of that via chat.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so it's Airtable-Labs. I tried poking around to see if they had other things on here, but it just redirects to Airtable. So you have to know if there's another Airtable Labs project. This is the only one I'm aware of on this domain. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The challenge is, and I've always said this, is like Airtable as a database is not built to support like a large public facing website, and so now with them exploring this concept, I don't know how that's going to work. If it's read-only, they can cache it, you could get by with read-only, but if it's editable, which Canvas allows for, updating records, you're not going to be able to support a large quantity of simultaneous users unless they figure out workarounds for it. But yeah, so that's where I think it's tricky, this product, and why it's experimental and may never see the light of day. But if anything, this is their attempt to go after the app builders like Softer and whatnot.
I would agree. I think Omni and interfaces in general have their own section in the market. It's not going to be the same as make your own website and have that website from the ground up, to Dan's point, being built with traffic in mind and accounting for that.
Yeah, for
Great.
sure.
So, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've really loved a lot of the new features that Softer's been doing. They have a new-ish vibe coding block where you can, like, if they don't have what you're looking for in terms of like drag and drop elements, you can just ask it to just be like, create me a timeline pointed at this table. And it knows, it can like look into your data, figure out what the fields are. Like it can do out just like Claude can, just like Omni can with the custom interface. And I've been like really impressed with like the first result I get. I'm usually like, oh wow, okay, that's what I wanted. Great, I can move on. It's been really cool.
That's cool. Yeah, and I know like Zeit, you could build apps on top of. I'm pretty sure you can use Airtable as your backend, but they also, as Software has their own database now as well, right, for the backend.
They do, and they just launched workflows as well, and like they've been moving so fast. Like just in the last month, they've released like 6 features that I've been waiting for a really long time, and I'm just like so excited. But yeah, workflows really powerful. Like you can even show the user like a wait screen that's like, it's like, please wait while we do your like work on some stuff on the back end, and
That's nice.
it's really nice. It's a great user experience.
Yeah.
Still a little messy on some things. Like I've found that, you know, one block will refresh to update and the other one doesn't. You might have to do like custom code to get them to both match up. But I digress. But
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's interesting how these platforms start, you know, on top of an Airtable, and then they eventually become, you know, independent, where you don't need third parties to use them. That's the natural evolution of these solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just good and bad, because I think, I don't know, it'll be interesting how then they just become direct competitors to the Airtables of the world. So, all right. Yeah, I think the other thing I was just going to bring up, I'll bring this over. So HyperAgent continues to evolve. They now have a marketplace, although they sent an email out, and I think they forgot to put the link, and then they sent another one, but they don't have like an obvious like marketplace. But I guess these are the, let me see if I can get to maybe you have to sign in to see all the things. There's no link to their marketplace anywhere.
Their website suffers from what annoys me about a lot of technology companies is like there's 3 pages. The homepage, there's logging in and there's signing up, but there's no like, God help you if you wanted to know what the features were, if you wanted to read an about page. I think people, you know, think you don't need those anymore for whatever reason. Yeah.
There you
Guess
go.
the URL. That's how you navigate.
Yeah. Old school. You just got to remember everywhere. So yeah, they don't link to it from their homepage, but here's the marketplace.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can kind of do this, and I want to say, do you have to? I want to say, let's see. It's like, no, this is from Alex, who's the main guy that works there. I'm trying to think if like you have to buy these, if they're community ones.
So similar to Airtable's marketplace, where the name might imply it's a market and it's really a gallery.
Here's one from somebody other than Alex. There's no cost associated with it. So this is he's a big YouTuber, AI YouTuber that I follow. Who also, that makes sense because I noticed that HyperAgent sponsors his YouTube channel. Let's see. So yeah, maybe you don't have to pay for these. These are just kind of like the Airtable universe, where people just throw up their stuff for free. Cool. Yeah, at some point we'll do a deep dive on HyperAgent. I have somebody that I'm talking to that uses it heavily that will share some stuff if we can get them on.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So we'll do that. Okay, let's talk about new features. Let's see. I think I'll just skip the what's new because I think we highlight all of them in the Built on Air community. Russ is our Russ is always first to highlight new features each
Chief
every day. So, yeah, he's looking for new stuff. So okay, so this one, let's highlight each of them, and then we'll come back and we'll actually like set up some demos of the ones that we can do.
Yep.
Okay, so this one, when comment added, so this is a new trigger that you can set up an automation to. So basically, anytime a comment is added, you can set up an automation, which is really good because comments are kind of like a black box. They're really hard to expose. So now, in theory, you could like set up automations that anytime there's a comment, you could then add it to a table, and then you could do what you wanted with it.
That's really nice. You could do this with the REST API, but it would require like setting up a cron job basically, or I think they might have had a webhook added for it too, but either way, it was.
Who knows?
Yeah. I remember when comments came out and they exposed the REST API. And I remember talking to the developer who's no longer at Airtable of like, why did you implement it? So you have to go to the record level to get any comments on a record, which is good, but they don't have like a top level comments endpoint where you can say, give me all the latest comments on this table or base.
Yeah, or include it as a parameter within list records. Include comments as just a Boolean, yes or no. Because you can only query 10 at a time anyway. I will not let that die.
You can, I know, you can, you can say, tell me how many records or how many comments there are on a record. So when you query records, you can get the comment count.
Airtable loves making you query their API twice because they can do that with webhooks too.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing I noticed with this implementation that I've been able to do, you know how when you get a notification of a comment on a record and you have interface only access, but you have access to two different interfaces, sometimes it doesn't know which interface it should send you to. We've been able to say, because it'll tell you who made the comment, and then you could, with a conditional block, you could say, is this person in this group? Great. Then send them an email with a link to this page versus that page, and you have finer control over those emails. So I personally, I set up an email rule to delete all comment notifications, but I still have the in-app notifications on. So I'm not notified twice about the same thing, and this has been pretty helpful in better directing people of where to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's one thing I like when you duplicate a base, it also duplicates the comments, which is actually really helpful. But record revision history, I ran into a big problem the other day where like there is no way to retain the revision history. Airtable can't even do it on their back end. Like, so I'm
like to extract that.
Yeah. Like I'm deprecating a large table in a big base, and there's absolutely no way for us to hold on to the revision history. It's like if we want to delete the table, we have to say bye-bye to that data. That data in air quotes. So that's a problem I've not run into before, but a big one.
Yeah. Or you could use an external backup solution like On2Air, and that can help with that.
Yes, 100%.
Yep. Okay, so we'll do a demo of this. This is pretty easy to demo, so we'll jump into this in a minute. Let's move on. Next one. What do we got here? Okay, this one is not in there. What's new? So this is they haven't like announced this. So insert as a JSON string. So this is within automations. You can insert I've noticed this has created some issues for me, I believe. I haven't like verified this, but I feel like this changed behavior in certain field types. I don't know if you guys have noticed this.
I've noticed UI changes, but I don't know if it would have to do with this.
So when you're inserting, when you're like updating a record in an automation, and I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong in this, but I'm pretty sure you could insert just about any field type like into, let's say you're just updating, even a text field. If you had like a find step before that was only finding like one record, you limit it. I know there's only going to be one record and I just want to update this field. If you're updating a field from that find record that's like a lookup, so it's an array, it used to allow, I'm pretty sure it used to allow you to insert that. Whereas now I found use cases where it doesn't allow, like an array to get inserted into field types. And I think because now the only option I have is like insert as a JSON string, and it'll put like quotes on it or brackets or something. And I'm pretty sure it used to just convert it, to just like a single element string, and then you'd be able to insert it. Have you guys noticed that?
I've noticed an error. I mean, I find it exceedingly rare, and I find it hard to remember what exact scenario, but it's what you're describing. It's like when you have an array being put into a string, but I think it's been around for a while. It's like a weird error message that comes up. It's like invalid union type or something. But I agree that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and I don't really understand the rhyme or reason as to why it wouldn't.
Yeah, so now I have to, and even there's been times where, if it comes from a find step, even like, I think I used to be able to like convert the lookup or create a formula field that, did like an array join on the lookup or something to get it to a text field. But now I had to go through a scripting step to like convert this array into just a single, I can't remember the exact use case, but I'm finding all these edge cases that I feel like I used to be able to just, the automation would make the conversion for you.
It's possible that they did change something. There's been a lot of just really weirdo little tiny things that I've seen people talking like, oh, they must be using AI to update their code stack and not going all the way through with everything. Like, I don't know. But the JSON string though, like that I think is hugely beneficial, particularly for script steps when, like previously, if you were, say you had a webhook calling an automation to start an automation, and sometimes one of the field values is empty, but sometimes it's not. Like that will cause an error. If you're relying on that field, even if like your script is written in such a way where it's okay for it to be empty, it won't even run because it's empty. So if you do it with this JSON string instead and you parse the whole thing, then you won't have to worry about that failing at inception.
Yeah, where this comes in handy, I've got automation, especially with scripting. Like this is huge with scripting, where you can just insert, like the entire object instead of having to do like a field for every item. You can just say, put the whole string in there. So that's where this JSON string is really useful in scripting steps.
I agree. I have some notes. I would like, if you know how when you're inserting into like an email step, and you can insert a record or a list of records as a list or a grid, and then you could pick which fields for either. I want the same thing for the JSON string. Let me pick which fields to be part of the JSON objects that you're about to form for me. And then similar to the API, if the JSON object comes from an Airtable record, I want it to give me the option of should the keys be the field names or the IDs?
IDs. Because it
Let me
uses
pick.
field name. It uses field name only, right?
Yeah, so it's like there's some tweaks for like real practical use case of this implementation, but it is so much more useful. I've had so many scripts where I need to insert 10 fields into a script where 10 fields isn't a lot of fields, but it's so mechanically annoying to grab little by little. And then you can only, when you're inserting a field, you can only pick one of the parameters out of it. Like if you wanted to give the result of a single select field, you could pick the ID, the name, or the color, but you can't send all three unless you have three different inputs. That's annoying. You don't have to do that with inserting the whole thing as a JSON string. But if it lets me pick which keys to bring as part of the full object and lets me do field IDs instead of field names, awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and at some point there will be a day where like Omni, this is where Omni could really shine, is if it could get inside of an automation where you could just prompt it to say, add these 10 input fields, so you don't have to manually create every input field. You could just prompt it.
Yeah, those are the things that I would use Omni for, just generally. It's like, I know what I'm doing. I just don't want to do the tedium of it all.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, this is, I think this will come in handy. It's a little bit more technical. You got to know what to do with it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of times it's frustrating unless you're inputting it into a scripting task. Outside of a scripting task, usually you don't want JSON because it adds, the quotes and the brackets and everything. And that's usually not what you want. Unless you're saving it as like a log, if you're just doing like a text dump or something of a logging something. So, but yeah, it's useful.
I really wanted this in Zapier, which I think you can do now, but back when I wanted it, you couldn't, because of the way that Calendly saves questions when you like fill out a Calendly and you say, like, you can set custom questions for your users to fill out, but then they come as separate fields. It's like question 1, question 1, answer, question 2, question 2, answer. And it's like, so if you don't know which one it's coming from, you can't map them appropriately. And this would have been really helpful, and made me very happy if it existed at that time.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That one we probably won't demo. We can maybe look at it in automations. Okay, here's a big one. I thought I had one more. There's one more that I know Russ found, so I'll talk about it. But yeah, here's the big one. Inline editing, data validation, and this one we'll play with as well. Any high-level thoughts on this?
This one falls into my standard Airtable review. Good idea. Upsetting implementation.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's some weirdo things about it.
And that kind of covers both parts of this, the validation in forms and the detail page as a form idea. Both of them I have notes.
Yeah.
Which we can get into.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, there's one more and then we'll dive into these. There was one about, let's see if I can find it. Airtable AI in Slack.
Oh yeah.
There we go. I thought I had this one pulled. Okay. Airtable's AI assistant is available directly in Slack. I don't know if this has been around for a while, maybe, or if it's new, updated on June. Oh yeah, published. Okay, so this is new. So yeah, I'll have to play with this. So you can add a bot, and then you could just ask it questions by tagging Airtable. So if you're using Slack, so I'm assuming, does this use like the MCP? Like, is it, yeah, so it's Airtable AI Assistant. So it's probably using the MCP.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you scroll up a little bit under limitations? Actually, a little bit before, yeah. Once again. Okay, no, it's fields per record up to 10, records per response up to 50. Why limit to only 10 fields? That seems really small, no?
Yeah, maybe just for the display. And then characters per cell up to 250. Messages per response 5. So Slack might have some limits on size.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're even calling it Omni in Slack. It's a little tricky of like, what is Omni? What actually is Omni?
Well, it's omnipresent. Probably omnipotent as well. Omniscient? One of those.
Yeah. So, okay. So I get it from a marketing standpoint. They want to give their AI a name, but it behaves differently. Omni in Slack is different than Omni in Airtable.
It's back to their problem with forms, where they have 4 different types of forms and they all do different stuff.
There's 5 now. Now they're in detail pages too.
You're right. I've got to update my complaint. There are 5 different types of forms.
And there's a totally different feature set.
Yeah. What is an interface form? Good luck.
Oh my gosh.
Luck explaining what an interface form is.
They really should just get rid of the form. Like when you go to create an interface page, like the interface form page, just in my opinion, should just not exist. Like every time people go to make one, I'm like, stop, don't do that. You will regret it because you can only access it here. You can't like go to a list page and point the add new button to that form. Like, I'm like, you're going to waste all your time building this and then never be able to use it again.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but that form page can't edit. So you can't. It's like, that was the one thing, like, why let you reuse the same form that you might have already built? No, make another one.
Yeah.
Make another one that you can only use once.
Yeah, it's my same complaint with the record review layout. It's like, no, I built this detail page. I want to just keep that one. Like, I like the layout. I like how it looks. I like the record review UI, but I'm not going to use it because I spend all this time building a page that only lives there. Like, okay.
Yep. And also, if you duplicate that page, there's actually 2 names given to the page. There's one for the page as a whole and a second for the detail page that's on the right side. The only way I found to rename the one on the right-hand side, which is important if you have Sandbox on, because it'll say inbox detail 2 has been updated, but you might have 4 2s because you've duplicated the page. I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I had to deal with this yesterday. And the only way to do it is to, like, if you put a button that triggers an automation and then sever the connection to the automation or do something with it to break it, it will give you a link that will open just the detail page, and then you can rename it. This is the madness that I sometimes have to deal with in Airtable interfaces, which extends to the new edit as form, which again, great idea.
That'd be a good episode of doing a full deep dive on the different forms. And
that is the day where I end up looking at that Charlie Day meme from It's Always Sunny, where he's like the conspiracy board in the background. His hair's all crazy. That's me trying to explain some of the interface designers' intricacies. So
cool. Let's do. We got time for 2. We'll do comments and then the forms. Okay.
Great. There is one great thing I do like about the implementation of the comment trigger. The test of the trigger, it just gives you a fake comment. It doesn't force you to make a comment on the record, which
That's
is
great.
what I would want. Give me the structure. Like, I don't need, it just does it.
Yeah. Like
Love
this.
it. So now I know exactly what it's going to return. I don't have to pollute my own,
Yeah.
records with a comment that I'll have to go back and delete.
Yep. Yeah, this is perfect. Yeah. So then what we could do, okay, so let's look at this. So it gives us, so you can tell it's a JSON type output. They've got layers to it. So this users and subscribers are arrays. Okay, what I'll be curious to test is child comments. So let's create a new table.
Yeah, I didn't think about threaded replies.
Yeah.
And you can have attachments in comments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you can. Yeah.
Here's my trick for getting rid of all the default fields.
Nice. You can do that. You can select multiple and delete them right on the table too.
That is true. That's true. I forgot you can do that. That's a better trick.
Slowly but surely, they add more default fields that you have to delete.
What I do love, though, the manage fields board is so helpful because you can search for anything across the whole field. So like the name, the description, like you can search for things in the description too. So that I find really useful.
Yeah, I'm quite a fan of that tool. Again, I have some notes, but those are all like, man, it'd be great if it did this. Nothing that I'm like mad about, and I'm mad about a lot of things.
Yes, 100%.
Should that step be create, Dan? You have it as update.
You're right. Yeah.
Also, let me convert step types.
You can. It will break a lot.
We'll just keep
but I don't. If I'm going from update to create in the same table, let me make that switch and then decide if it breaks something. It preemptively decides whatever you're about to do is going to be completely different. And no, it's going to be very similar, actually.
Agreed.
Okay, let's do this. We're gonna create a record in our comments. Okay. So when comment added. There we go. Comment. Wait, what is it giving me? So when comment added, why is it giving me fields from the tape? I guess it's also, it's giving you the record that it was commented on. So that's cool.
It's the same payload as record created or record updated with the addition of the comment itself.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, but the placement of comment in that selection is, I think, confusing because the trigger is the comment and the record it's attached to is additional information, in my opinion, if you're thinking about where this automation is sourced from.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So you gotta go into comment. You know what's interesting is there's no unique identifier. There's no comment ID.
There's gotta be behind the scenes. So I'm
right.
I mean,
you think they would expose that?
Yeah, it is an interesting omission.
Right, because then how do threads work? Like, is it going to say in response to the ID? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be an impermanent key, probably. Sometimes it'll be there and sometimes it won't, which annoys me. The key should be static.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so we'll make a list. There we go. All right, let's do this. Anything else? That kind of covers enough.
That's good.
Okay. So. Okay, so we're going to comment there, and then we're going to, I don't know, it probably doesn't do reactions.
I don't think so. Which would be helpful, but I don't know. Maybe this is just phase one.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it's when comment created, like a new comment created, the reaction wouldn't be there at that moment. So it
True,
needs to have
Right. Yeah.
It's there when comment is updated because you can edit a comment.
No,
right.
there isn't. There isn't.
Okay. Well, so this feels like
And
step one.
notice it doesn't trigger on sub replies
Okay.
on the top level.
That seems like a miss. I understand not having a trigger yet for a comment being edited because that would be a different trigger given Airtable's, the way they've done records. I assume it would be the same for comments. But threaded replies, if you look at the count of comments, does the number include the number of replies?
Yeah.
Okay, well then Airtable, come on now. You've lied to your customers. If there are 3 comments, there should be 3 rows in this table.
Yeah.
Right. Did it run at all? Can you look at the history? Like maybe I don't know why it would have failed, but okay.
No.
Yep. Try. Yikes.
No. So it doesn't handle replies, and there is not. Let's see. And yeah, if you edit it, it's not gonna change anything. So let's see. What if you and if you resolve it, it's not gonna do anything. Yeah, and let's do a new top level. Yeah, I doubt it gives you attachments. What can I put in here?
You could pull from one of your open tabs, just one of Airtable's like screenshots of a new feature or something like that.
Yeah, I'll just take a screenshot of something. So I didn't have with attachment,
but it might be in the payload.
Let's see if it's in here. Nope.
Okay, well.
It's interesting, yeah. So it's at the top level. It's not in the field. It's comment. So, anyways, some good, some bad, but it gives you a sense of comment triggers on comment create. So it's a start. It's half baked. Yeah. Seems to be always the case. So, all right, let's do one more. Let's do interfaces, forms. Okay.
You have to be on a detail page.
Yeah.
And then
so
it's.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So we have off. So it used to be, before this, there used to be, you could do like at the group level. So like if you highlighted like a group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Allow. Okay. Okay, so that's still there.
Yeah.
How does that change?
It doesn't. The form
goes
thing, the form is a page level. So it will override whatever specific group level setting you have. I've said before that I would prefer the option of having the form at the group level because I don't want to have one complicated form with every possible field. I often have like sequential workflows of like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and some fields should only be editable depending on which phase you're in. And that's really difficult to do on a form without hiding the field altogether. And sometimes I don't want to hide the field. Sometimes I want the field to be there and not editable. And that's not something you could do with this current implementation.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So one thing, I totally agree. It's like, and I think that was the comments in the discussion of like, okay, now you need multiple forms, one for this use case where you want to edit these things, and then one for everything.
Yeah, just for those who haven't played around with this yet, the button that it will add to the top right is its own kind of separate button type, if that makes sense. You can't have more than one of that button on the page. So you're stuck with one form per detail page.
Right.
It's not there. When it should be, I don't see why it's so cordoned off to be its own thing.
It's similar to the create new, right?
Right. And if it's going to be at the top, like it should freeze at the top, right?
Yes. I didn't notice that until you said it. Because you can't control where this button is.
Yeah. Okay.
So this action is new, right? So open record update.
Right.
Because there's an open record create action that kind of works. I think it only works on something like this.
Yeah.
But then there's link or unlink as well as. So if you toggle the link,
link existing.
But in the edit one, edit as a form, it kind of locks you into that, and then you can't switch which form. It creates a new form for you, and then you have to edit it. So you can't pick a pre-existing, even if you had one of these pop-up forms before, and you can't like duplicate that layout and settings into this one. You have to start over.
Yeah.
It's really, it's frustrating that they did it that way. Like they took away the ability to have flexibility where you aren't this limited in other similar places in interfaces.
Yeah, I would have liked to see like you said, have an edit button at the group level, and then even kind of a merging of those two features. Like I'd like to be able to have right on the screen with the inline, like make the field required. While it's in edit mode, it's required, like something like that. Not have a pop-up.
I completely agree, Dan. If you could scroll to the top of your detail page, like the description and assignees and status field, I thought this is going to be if you click the edit button, you stay exactly where you are, and then now you can type as though it were inline, and then edit would probably rename itself to save or something. You can save or cancel. That to me would be a much better experience because then I have all of the power of a detail page versus a form, which is still relatively limited. You can't show a lookup or a rollup or a formula on a form, but you can on a detail page. So like, and I know inline editing is available because that was the only way to do it before this update. So it is interesting that they were like, yeah, form, that's the way to go.
It also
what happens to the edit button if I go back to inline?
Goes away.
Goes away. It's gone.
Yeah. And like if they had done it that way, like they could have kept like with linked records, like you'd be able to add new linked records. Like and you can't do that in the form. Like,
Yeah.
that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Still, I am excited though. I mean, like, I'm happy that they did this because it does afford, like, just the simple reason of like being able to have somebody like have a field be required while you're editing. That is huge. So
Yeah.
Yes. Again, good start, but it is the thing I was going to use this for. I couldn't actually use it for this because it was so like it just wouldn't work.
Yeah. And let's see if you make changes. So if you get rid of this, if you're like, oops, if you're like, okay, I want to switch back to inline. Oh no, I want to go back to form. You just lost all of your changes that you made to the button. It did keep the change I made to the form itself.
Okay, so it's not creating a new detail
But
record.
it's created a new
form.
button.
Okay.
Yeah. So very good. I know you got to run. We could wrap up there, but yeah, good stuff. See how you use it. Definitely some things that it's useful for, other roadblocks it creates, but hopefully there's iterations to come to continue to work out the kinks. But yeah, that's an update of everything new the last month or so. And next week we'll be back. We'll do a deep dive into something fun and exciting. So come join us again. Everybody have a great week.